All right, this is Precalculus, Chapter 2, Lesson 1. Here's the problems that I'm going to work. I'm not going to work the even ones because these are like it, and 34, I wouldn't ask you this. I'd ask you to solve it algebraically, not on your calculator, because we can solve number 34 algebraically. And number 36 is just like 35 and 37. All right, so 34 I'd make you solve algebraically. That's how I would solve it. So we're going to start with number 3. All of this is on the calculator. All right, so you go to y equals. Let me get my... So for 3, 5, and 7, we're not solving. We're just seeing how many x-intercepts there are. All right, so number 3 is, I'm putting it y equals. All right. All right, so it's x raised to the 7th. Then I have to move to the right. Minus 10x to the 5th. Move it to the right. Plus 15x plus 10. All right, so because it's a 7th degree and the lead coefficient is positive, it's going to begin in quadrant 3, end in quadrant 1. That's really what I sort of want to see. All right. So if I just did my window negative 10, 10 for both x min, x max, and y min and y max, then let's see what I get. Okay, I can't really see the whole thing. All right. So what I can do is I can do zoom fit. All right. So if you do zoom fit, and then I can go in and change. I can't, it's hard to read this backwards. Let me get to it. Zoom fit. Okay, there it is. Zoom fit and hit enter. Okay, now I see it starting in quadrant 3. And I see it ending. Okay, but I can't see the wiggles in the middle. So I'm going to change my y to smaller in my window. The y's are too big. We're going from my x min, x max is fine. But now, so that's fine. And when I bring y in, I'm not going to be able to see where it starts and where it ends, but I made y bigger. Well, I just did the zoom fit so I could see it was starting in quadrant 3, ending in quadrant 1. So now I'll go back and make y min negative 10, y max 10, and then count the x-intercepts. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of them. All right, so that's for number 3. Number 5, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go into y equals. I'm going to clear that one out. Now I'm going to put in number 5. So it's x to the 4th plus 500x squared minus 8,000x. I'm going to move everything to the left of the equal sign. So then I'm going to subtract 16x cubed. It doesn't matter the order you put this in your calculator. And then I'm going to add 32,000. All right, now, this is a 4th degree. A 4th degree is gonna, a 4th degree, so it's even. It's gonna start in quadrant 2 and end in quadrant 1. And that lead coefficient is positive, so it's gonna open up. All right? So I'm leaving my window at 10, negative 10, 10, negative 10. I don't even know if I'm going to see anything. All right, so now I'm going to go do zoom fit. Zoom fit. Let's see what I see. There we go. Okay, I don't know if it ever crosses the x-axis. I see the very bottom. I'm closing my door because the news is on in there. All right. I'm going to make my X go down a little further. It looks like there's maybe no X-intercepts, but I'm going to go look. All right, so my window is negative 10, 10, but my Y doesn't go to negative. So I'm going to make my Y min, let's say negative, I don't know, I'm going to go 100,000 maybe and see what I see. All right, I don't see any. Your book says 2, but I see none. Did I put it in right? All right, see, that would be my question. X to the 4th plus 5x squared. Oh, I said 800x. Dagnabbit, 8,000x. All right, so I have to go back and re-put it in. Minus 16x cubed plus 32,000. I had 800x, not... I got to go in and delete the end of that. Okay, go back up, Paula. Minus 8,000x minus 16x cubed minus, no, plus 32,000. Delete, delete, delete. Got to delete everything behind it. All right, now I'm going to graph it. I'm going to leave it the same window. Let's see what I see. Okay, there it goes down. It's got to come back up. All right, so I'm going to go further this way on the x-axis. Actually, I'm going to make my window x-min 0. I'm going to make my x-max 100. And let's see what I see. Oh, yeah, there's 2. 2 of them. All right, number 7. Okay, number 7 is different. I thought 3, 5, and 7 were the same. All right, number 7 says, we're going to do the same thing, I think. And we're going to find the solutions now. All right, so it's set equal to 0. It's an x cubed. X cubed is odd. So it's a 3rd degree. I should see it starting in quadrant 3, ending in quadrant 1. So I should have, at the very minimum, 1 solution. All right, so I'm going to go back into y equals, clear it out, put in x cubed. I'm going to be more careful this time. 4x squared plus 10x plus 15. I'm going to make my window initially, I always do, negative 10, 10, negative 10, 10. For both the y min, the y max, I'm looking to see up. Does it come back down? All right, I can't see it, so I'm going to go do zoom fit, make sure that's the only one. Zoom fit. Here is zoom fit. All right, that's the only one. All right, so now I'm going to go in probably smaller with my y values because that's the only place it crosses the x-axis. So I'll go back to window, be easier to find it. So I'll go negative 15 to positive 15 for y. Graph it. Okay, it starts in quadrant 3. This is so backwards. And ends up there. So this is left bound. That's right bound. I do second trace 0. Second trace 0. All right, I'm going to go here. Hopefully you can see it. All right. So I'm looking at my x. I'm at 0. Y is at 15. I want to go back here. I want to go where y is negative and x is negative. So I'm going to go to the right. I'm sure hoping you can see this because I am behind the camera. Okay. See my markers going down. Y is still positive. 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 Goes negative. That's left bound. I hit enter. Right bound. Y becomes positive. Enter. there's my guess. All right. I'm so hoping you can see all that. All right. That's number 7. Number 17, it's the same thing. However, what is the numerator for number 17? All right. For number 17, let's just write on the board. It's a 5th degree. 5th is going to be the same thing. I'm only looking at the numerator. Begin in quadrant 3, end in quadrant 2. All right, so I'm going to find the zeros of the numerator. Then I'm going to look at the denominator. I'm going to make sure those zeros do not make the denominator equal 0. All right, so I'm only putting in y sub 1. I'm only putting the numerator. Okay. Hopefully, when I go back, you can see this. Okay. So clear out what I had. 2x to the 5th minus 10x plus 5. All right. My initial window, I'm going to make negative 10 to positive 10. Okay. That's where I always start. Well, it's negative 10, positive 10, negative 15, positive 15. Then I'm going to graph it. Let's see if we see it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to do zoom fit just to make sure because that's 1, 2, 3, almost a 3rd degree. I'm just going to make sure there's not 1 somewhere else. So I'm going to do zoom fit. And then I'm going to go back. 1. All right, so that's it. That's it. I'm going to go change the window back. Just make y negative 10, positive 10. And I'll graph it. So now I have 2 zeros. All right, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to draw it on the board. Kind of, sort of. All right, so this is what we see. All right, this is left bound. This is right bound. Remember, we read graphs left to right. When I get to the second x-intercept, this is left bound, this is right bound. When I get to the third one, this is left, well, let's just throw that one away. This is left bound, this is right bound. All right, so for the first one, let's think about x and y. On left bound, x is going to be negative, y is going to be negative, all right? When we go to right bound, x is still going to be negative, but y is going to change to positive above that x axis, all right? So, I'm just going to like hold it right here. Oops, no, you can't see it. So I got to hold it up a little higher, maybe. Okay, I'm going to hold it higher than I expect. Up. Okay, so I'm going to do second trace 0. All right. X is at 0, Y is at 5. Can you see that? So I'm going to go back. I want X to be negative and Y to be negative. Y is still positive, 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 positive. X is negative. Okay, it went to negative. So that's my left bound. Hit enter, go right one, hit enter, hit enter. That's my first. Okay, that is, can you see that, what I'm pointing at? So negative 2e to the negative 12th is a very small number. That's 0. That's 12 decimal places of 0. All right? So the first 0 is 1.6. Let's just do the second one, then we'll be done. All right? So now for the second one, wait. I got to write this down. 1.6. That's my first 0. We're only going to do 2 of them, so I won't know about the third one. All right. Here, for the second one, X is going to be positive. Y is going to be positive. And then that's for left bound. For right bound, X is still going to be positive, but Y is going to go negative. All right? All right, so here we go. I think I need to hold it about right here. Maybe. Lord knows if y'all are able to see this. All right, second trace 0. All right. So I'm still over here. I want X and Y to be positive. So X is still negative, 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 negative. Okay, so now X is at 0. Hit there, it comes down. It's coming down closer to the line. Do you see it? It's very much on the line. I know it's probably a moving deal. Now Y goes negative. So I'm going to go back up. Hit enter. Go to the right. Hit enter, enter. There's my guess. And X is 5.07. We'll call it 5.07. All right. Then you would have to do the same for 3. I'm not going to do that. All right. Now we're going to substitute these X values into, come on, my iPad went blank. All right, we're going to substitute these into here. So it'd be 1.6 cubed plus 1.6 squared minus 12 times 1.6. And we'll also do the same with 5.07. 5.07 cubed plus 5.07 squared minus 12 times 5.07. We're making sure they do not equal 0. Because if they make the denominator equal 0, they're not a solution. All right? I'm just going to do the math in my calculator. 1.6 cubed plus 1.6 squared minus 12 times 1.6. All right, this is a negative number, so 1.6 is a solution. Do the same thing with 5.07. 5.07 cubed plus 5.07 squared minus 12 times 5.07. That's a positive number. So they both work. Well, let me look at the answer. This is number 17. And it does have 3 solutions. That must be 0.507. I read that wrong. Not 5.07. 0.507. All right? Clearly I read it wrong. It's closer to half. All right. So I just read it wrong. It's 0.507. But it doesn't make it 0. They all 3 work. All right? That was number 17. Now we're on number 31. Okay, number 31 has the same directions. All right, what is number 31? 31. I'm going to set this equal to 0. All right, 31. Absolute value, x squared minus 4 minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. All right, so I'm setting it equal to 0. Let's see what this looks like graphically. Remember, to get the absolute bars, I have to go to math, num. So math, go over to num. The first one I believe is abs. Yeah. And so I'm going to put x squared minus 4 in there. So I'll go to the right one to get outside the absolute bars. Minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. I'm still at negative 10, 10, negative 10, 10. When I graph it, that's all I see. I'm going to make sure that that's all that there is. So I'm going to go to zoom fit, zoom fit to make sure. Let's see. All right, so that's all there is. I'm going to go back and change it, and we'll solve. It just changed the y's. All right. So now, you see what it looks like. All right, so it came here, went up, and came down here. So we're going to start finding this one. And I'm going to draw it on the board, right? It looks like this. This is going to be left bound. This is right bound. This is going to be left bound. This is right bound. All right, on this one, left bound, x is negative, y is negative. When we go to right bound, that y is going to pop to positive. X negative, y is going to go to positive. All right? That's right bound, Paul. For this one, our left bound, x is positive, y is positive. So once I go here, you're going to see x change to positive, positive, positive. You're waiting for y to get back negative, then you're going to go back. Right bound, x is positive, y is negative. All right, so we'll just find one. Maybe we'll just find the second one. We'll find the second one. All right. So you do second trace. Went past it. 0. All right, so I'm going to find the second one. Okay, there's my cursor. X is 0, y is 3. I keep moving it so far. I don't know why I have to have it so far this direction. All right, so I'm going to keep going. X is positive, y is still positive. Positive, positive. Okay, y just changed to negative. So I'm going to go back, hit enter, go right, hit enter, enter for guess. All right, x is 1.15. All right, x, this one, x is 1.15. All right, and you can find the other one. 35. Last one. Okay, 35 looks like it gives us a range to solve for. All right. So we don't have to look at every one. We just want to know the x-intercepts within that range, right? Let's see. Find an exact solution in the interval shown. All right. So 35 is 3x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0. It wants us to get the solution in that range, 0 to 1. So this dictates my x min and x max. I only want to see if it crosses the x-axis between 0 and 1. So I'm going to make my x min -1. That goes a little bit below 0. My x max 2. We'll see if we have, it's a cubic. We'll have to figure out, we'll have to watch closely how it graphs it. We'll have to look how we go left to right. All right, so y equals, clearing it out, I'm putting 3x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. I'm going to make my x min -1, my x max 2. All right, we're going to watch real closely how it graphs. Okay, this is left to right, all right? So left bound, y is negative, x is positive. Right bound, x is positive, y is positive. All right, so here we go. Second trace, 0. Okay, my cursor is right there. Y is negative. When I move it to the right, y is still negative. Negative. Negative is taking a while. Negative, negative, because my window, it jumped to positive. So I'm going to go back 1. It's negative. I'm going to go right one. It's positive. Hit enter. Okay, x is 0.6666 repeat. So x is 2/3. All right, that's the solution. X is 2/3. Was that 37? No, 37 is like it. All right. So this one, the solution is x equals 2/3. I wouldn't write 0.667 because we know that that is the same as 2/3. All right, so, all right, 37 is the same, and we want it on the range 0 to 1. So I'm going to leave my x min at -1, my x max at 2, and I'm going to put the equation in y1. All right, clearing out what's there. 12x to the 4th minus x cubed minus 12x squared plus 25x minus 2. I'm going to leave it the same. Let's see what we have. Okay, it comes down. All right, so same thing. Left bound is here. X is positive, y is negative, and it's going to jump to y being positive. Okay? All right. So that is between 0 and 1. I had to ask myself that. Second trace, 0. My cursor's way up here. I got to go back to the left. Remember, we're only going left and right till y changes to a negative value. Okay, y just became negative. So that's my left bound, enter. Right bound, y becomes positive. Making sure. Enter, enter. So 0.083 repeat. Okay, that means that can be written as a decimal. How can we figure that out? 0.083. Oh, let's do quit. All right, so we know it's 0.083 repeat. Well, we could do what we did in algebra. I'm going to try this. 0.08, and I'm going to put as many 3's in as I can. Just in the calculator screen part, like that. That's what I did. Then I'm going to do, okay, enter so that I have the number. Then I'm going to see if it'll get me a math. I've never tried this before. Enter, enter. It gave me a fraction. 1/12. That's the answer, I guess. 1/12. Look, so you see what I did? I just put 0.08, a lot of 3's, hit enter. Then I did math, enter, enter. There we go.